Have you ever felt like life is throwing everything at you all at once? Like no matter how hard you try, the challenges keep piling up? Do you sometimes wonder if there's a way to stay strong and calm when everything around you feels like it's falling apart? Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting, and you spill coffee on your shirt. It's just one of those days where everything goes wrong. But here's the question. How do you respond when life tests you like this? Do you panic? Or do you find a way to stay centered and move forward? Welcome to today's video. Here on Wisdom Woven, we explore simple but powerful teachings that can help you navigate life's toughest moments with strength and peace. In this video, you'll discover timeless insights from Buddhism that show you how to stay grounded, no matter what storms come your way. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you're joining a community of people who are dedicated to growing stronger and wiser every day. Don't miss out on the valuable content we share to help you thrive. In the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into how you can harness your inner strength and stay calm when life challenges you. Whether it's stress at work, personal struggles, or unexpected obstacles, we'll share the tools to help you rise above it all. Stick with us as we guide you through transforming difficulties into opportunities for growth. Stay tuned for insights that can change the way you handle life's tests forever. Understanding the nature of life's challenges. Life, like the weather, is always changing. Sometimes it is sunny and warm, and everything feels right. But sometimes it is stormy and cold, and nothing seems to go the way we want. These challenges, are a natural part of life. It's important to understand that difficulties are not something strange or abnormal. They are as much a part of life as the breath you take. Without them, there would be no growth. Imagine you are a seed planted in the ground. In the beginning, you are protected by the soil, but as you grow, you must push through the earth to reach the light. This process is difficult and painful, but it is also necessary. Without the pressure of the soil, the seed would never break through and grow into a beautiful tree. Life's challenges are like this soil. They push us, challenge us, and make us stronger. You see, many of us tend to resist challenges. We fight against them, wishing they would go away. We want things to be easy, to be comfortable. But life does not work that way. There will always be hardships, and it is in facing them that we discover who we truly are. When we resist the difficulties of life, we only make them stronger. The more we fight, the more exhausted we become. But when we accept the challenges, when we stop running away from them, we start to change. We learn to embrace the struggle, not as something to fear, but as something that helps us grow. Think of a bamboo plant. It is not the hardest wood, but it is the strongest because it bends in the wind. It does not resist the wind. It goes with it. This bending makes the bamboo flexible, able to withstand strong storms. If the bamboo were rigid, it would break. In the same way, when we bend with the challenges of life, instead of fighting them, we become stronger and more resilient. Each challenge you face in life has the potential to teach you something valuable. Whether it's a challenge in your job, a relationship, or even within yourself, it carries a lesson. If you can open your mind and heart to these lessons, you will grow wiser and more compassionate. When you look back at your life, you will see that many of your greatest moments of growth came during the most difficult times. The hardest situations are often the ones that bring the most change. So, instead of fearing challenges, see them as an opportunity to learn, to change, and to become a better version of yourself. It is said that the lotus flower grows from the mud. The flower blooms beautifully despite growing in the dirt. In the same way, you can find beauty and strength in the struggles you face. The key is not to avoid them, but to face them with an open heart and a calm mind. When you approach challenges with a sense of peace, you can weather the storm without being swept away by it. In Buddhism, there is a teaching known as the Four Noble Truths. The first truth is that life involves suffering. This is not something to fear, but something to accept. It's not about avoiding suffering, but learning to live with it in a way that transforms us. The second truth is that suffering has a cause, usually rooted in desire, attachment, or ignorance. When we let go of these attachments, the suffering begins to fade. The third truth is that there is an end to suffering, and the fourth truth is the path to ending suffering. the Noble Eightfold Path. Understanding these truths is key to understanding life's challenges. When we realize that suffering is a part of life, we no longer need to resist it. We can simply accept it and move through it with grace. By letting go of our expectations and attachments, we allow ourselves to experience life fully, without fear or resistance. The Buddha once said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." This means that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. Challenges will come, but how we face them is entirely up to us. By cultivating a peaceful mind, we can approach challenges with calmness and clarity. In the face of difficulty, it is easy to feel overwhelmed and lost. But remember, even in the most difficult times, you are not alone. Every person who has ever lived has faced struggles. Every person has had to face the storms of life. What makes the difference is not the challenge itself, but how we face it. When life feels overwhelming, try to remember the saying, "This too shall pass." No storm lasts forever. Everything in life is temporary, and even the hardest times will eventually come to an end. Knowing this, we can face challenges with a sense of patience and trust that things will improve. The next time you face a difficult situation, instead of trying to push it away, try to embrace it. Sit with it. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort without judgment. Know that in this moment, you are learning. You are growing. You are becoming stronger. Just as the lotus grows from the mud, you too can grow from life's challenges. When you stop resisting the challenges in your life, you begin to see them for what they truly are: opportunities for growth. They are the soil that helps you grow, the winds that make you strong, the rain that nourishes you. By embracing them, you open yourself up to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. And so, the next time life tests you, remember, challenges are not obstacles, but stepping stones. They are not here to hurt you, but to help you become who you are meant to be. Embrace them with an open heart, and you will find that you are capable of much more than you ever imagined. In every moment of challenge, you have a choice: to resist or to embrace. Choose to embrace, and you will find that your strength lies not in avoiding life's difficulties, but in moving through them with grace and courage. When you do this, you will not only survive the storm, you will emerge from it stronger, wiser, and more peaceful than before. The power of mindfulness in turbulent times. In times of struggle, when life feels overwhelming, the mind often races, filled with worries, doubts, and confusion. Thoughts come and go like a storm, making it hard to find peace. But here's the truth. It is in these moments of turbulence that mindfulness becomes our most powerful tool. It is in stillness that we discover strength. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being fully present. It's the art of experiencing life without judgment or distraction, no matter what is happening around us. Imagine you are sitting by a river. The water flows steadily, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but the river is always there, constant and steady. Your mind is like that river. When turbulent times arise, you can choose to sit by the river and observe, letting the current of thoughts flow without getting caught in it. This is the essence of mindfulness, observing without reacting. When challenges come, we often react without thinking. We might feel anger, fear, or frustration, and these emotions can take over our mind. But mindfulness invites us to pause before reacting. It gives us the space to simply be with what is happening, without judgment. When we observe our thoughts and feelings, we create a gap, a moment of clarity where we can choose how to respond, instead of being swept away by the current. You might be wondering, how can I practice mindfulness in such overwhelming moments? It's simple, but not always easy. The first step is to take a breath. A deep, slow breath. This single act of breathing connects us to the present moment. The breath is always with us. It's a reminder that we can always return to this moment, no matter how chaotic life becomes. In difficult situations, when the storm of emotions rises, breathe, pause, and notice what is happening in your body and mind. Notice the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, the fluttering in your stomach. These sensations are signals from your body, reminding you to pay attention. Without judgment, simply observe what is there. In that space of awareness, you will find peace. A Zen master once said, "The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it, it will grow. Mindfulness is the act of tending to your garden. When you focus on the present moment, you are planting seeds of peace. Over time, these seeds will grow, and you will find that you can stay calm in the face of any storm. Another powerful way to practice mindfulness is through acceptance. Life is full of challenges, but when we accept things as they are, rather than fighting against them, we stop creating unnecessary suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean we approve of what is happening, but it means we let go of the need to control it. We allow things to be as they are, without trying to change them. This doesn't mean giving up. It simply means embracing the present moment with a sense of peace. There's a story in Zen teachings about a monk who was faced with a difficult situation. He was walking along a narrow path when he was confronted by a large rock. Instead of trying to move the rock, he sat down beside it and simply observed it. He didn't try to force it to be anything different. After some time, the rock became just a rock, and the monk was at peace. In this story, the monk teaches us that the key to mindfulness is not in changing our circumstances, but in changing our relationship to them. The practice of mindfulness also helps us to understand that our thoughts are not who we are. We are not defined by the worries, fears, and judgments that pass through our mind. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky. They come and go, but the sky remains unchanged. When we identify with our thoughts, we become lost in them. But when we observe them from a place of awareness, we can simply watch them drift by. Mindfulness also teaches us to let go of the need for perfection. We live in a world that often pushes us to be flawless, to have everything together, to never show weakness. But mindfulness reminds us that it's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to not have all the answers. In fact, it's through our imperfections that we often find our greatest strength. When we stop pretending to be perfect, we open ourselves up to growth, to learning, and to the true wisdom of life. The Zen saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The teacher is not always external. Sometimes, the teacher is the moment itself. Life, in its simplest form, is always teaching us. And mindfulness is the key to learning from it. When we can sit quietly with our thoughts, without judgment, we open ourselves up to the wisdom that is already within us. The practice of mindfulness is not about escaping from life's difficulties. It's about facing them with presence and awareness. Life will always present challenges, but through mindfulness, we learn to respond to them with clarity, calmness, and wisdom. We learn to let go of the need to control the world around us and focus on what we can control: our own reactions, our own thoughts, and our own peace. In moments of fear, anxiety, or sadness, return to your breath. Breathe deeply, and remind yourself that you are not your thoughts or emotions. You are the observer of them. By practicing mindfulness, you begin to build a foundation of inner strength. You learn to face life's storms with an open heart and a clear mind. It's not about getting rid of the storms. The storms will come, and they will go. It's about learning to stay grounded in the midst of them. Mindfulness is the anchor that keeps you steady when everything around you is in motion. It's the calm in the chaos, the clarity in the confusion. Remember, mindfulness is a practice. It takes time, patience, and persistence. But every time you choose to return to the present moment, you strengthen your ability to navigate life with grace and ease. You begin to realize that no matter how intense the challenges are, you can always find peace within. So, the next time life tests you, pause, breathe, observe, and remember. In the present moment, there is always peace. Through mindfulness, you will find the strength to weather any storm and emerge wiser, stronger, and more at peace with yourself. Letting go of resistance and finding flow. In the stillness of a calm morning, imagine a leaf gently floating on the surface of a stream. It moves effortlessly with the current, drifting in the direction it is taken. It does not fight the water. It does not resist. It simply flows. Life, much like this leaf, moves in a direction that often feels beyond our control. The more we try to resist, the more we struggle. But the moment we stop fighting and let go, we discover a sense of peace, and we find ourselves moving with the flow of life. You see, resistance is like a heavy weight dragging us down. It pulls us away from the present moment and makes it harder to experience peace. When life throws challenges our way, our natural instinct is often to fight back, to control every outcome, and to struggle against what is happening. We resist difficult emotions, difficult situations, and even the passing of time. But this resistance only creates more suffering. It adds layers of stress and anxiety that prevent us from seeing clearly, from feeling at ease, and from experiencing the world as it truly is. Buddhism teaches us that attachment to control is one of the causes of suffering. We cling to ideas, to expectations, and to the desire for things to be a certain way. When these expectations are not met, we feel frustrated, anxious, and upset. In those moments, we are not only resisting what is happening around us, but we are also resisting our own emotions and thoughts. This only deepens the struggle. But what if there's another way to approach life? What if, instead of pushing back against everything that challenges us, we allowed ourselves to release our grip and let things unfold naturally? What if, like the leaf on the stream, we simply trusted in the flow of life and allowed ourselves to be carried along by it? This is the practice of letting go. Letting go is not about being passive or weak. It is not about giving up or surrendering to every circumstance. It is about accepting things as they are, without clinging to them or pushing against them. It is about finding peace in the present moment, regardless of what is happening around us. When we let go, we are no longer burdened by the weight of resistance, and we open ourselves to the possibility of growth, healing, and transformation. But how do we let go when life feels so heavy? How do we stop ourselves from clinging to outcomes, from resisting change, from holding on to the past or fearing the future? The key is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment. It is about observing our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to see clearly the ways in which we are resisting life. We notice when we are clinging to old patterns, to past hurts, or to future worries. And in that moment, we can choose to let go. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath and bringing our attention to the present moment. We might notice the sensation of the breath entering and leaving our body. We might feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, the sounds of birds singing in the distance, or the texture of the ground beneath us. By focusing on the present moment, we begin to disconnect from the mental chatter that causes resistance, and we open ourselves to the flow of life. This practice of letting go can also be applied to our relationships. Often, we resist the way people are or the way they treat us. We might try to change others or control how they behave, but this only leads to frustration and disappointment. When we let go of our need to control others, we create space for acceptance and compassion. We can appreciate people for who they are without demanding that they be something they are not. Letting go is also crucial when we face difficulties and hardships. Life is not always easy. Sometimes, we encounter situations that are beyond our control: loss, illness, failure, and disappointment. It is natural to want to resist these challenges, to wish they would go away, or to try to escape from them. But the more we resist, the more we suffer. The more we try to push away the pain, the more it lingers. Instead of resisting, we can choose to face these challenges with acceptance. We can acknowledge our pain without trying to push it away. We can allow ourselves to feel sad, frustrated, or angry without judging ourselves for those feelings. By accepting our emotions and experiences as they are, we free ourselves from the weight of resistance. We allow the flow of life to carry us through the difficult moments, knowing that they, too, shall pass. This does not mean that we become passive or indifferent. It simply means that we stop fighting against the natural course of events. We stop resisting change, and we begin to embrace the uncertainty of life. We start to trust that, even in the hardest times, there is a deeper wisdom at work, guiding us toward growth and transformation. When we let go of resistance, we also let go of the need for control. We stop trying to force things to happen according to our own plans, and we begin to trust in the process of life. We understand that we cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond to what happens. Instead of reacting with fear, anger, or frustration, we respond with calmness, patience, and acceptance. This is not always easy. Letting go requires practice. It requires patience and a willingness to face discomfort without running away from it. But over time, we begin to notice a shift. We feel lighter, more peaceful, and more in tune with the present moment. We find that, by letting go of resistance, we are able to flow with life more freely and gracefully. One of the most powerful ways to practice letting go is through meditation. Meditation helps us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, and it allows us to see how often we are resisting what is happening. In meditation, we can observe the mind without getting caught up in its endless chatter. We can simply let thoughts come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. By practicing this regularly, we train ourselves to let go of resistance in all areas of our lives. The next time life feels overwhelming or challenging, remember the leaf on the stream. Let go of your need to control. Let go of your attachment to outcomes. Trust in the flow of life, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. You don't have to fight against the current. You can float calmly and peacefully, knowing that each moment is an opportunity for growth, healing, and transformation. Cultivating resilience through self-compassion. In life, we often face hardships, struggles, and moments of weakness. When challenges arise, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism. We may blame ourselves for the difficulty, thinking that if we were stronger, smarter, or better, we wouldn't be facing such a hard time. But the truth is, resilience doesn't come from perfection. It comes from kindness, understanding, and compassion for yourself during the hardest moments. The concept of self-compassion in Buddhism is simple but powerful. It teaches us that when life tests us, the most important thing is to treat ourselves with the same care and patience we would offer a close friend. When a friend falls, we don't call them weak or incapable. We offer them understanding, comfort, and encouragement. So why do we often do the opposite when it comes to ourselves? When you're struggling, it's crucial to pause and recognize that you are human. You are not meant to be perfect. You are not meant to be invincible. Life's challenges are part of the journey, and they are opportunities for growth, not judgment. By practicing self-compassion, you can face your struggles with a mindset of healing and acceptance instead of shame and guilt. Self-compassion begins with the simple act of acknowledging your pain without judgment. When something goes wrong, instead of criticizing yourself, take a moment to say, "This is hard," and it's okay to feel upset or frustrated. This small act of self-kindness creates a space where healing can begin. It doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to failure. It simply means accepting where you are at this moment, without adding layers of unnecessary suffering from harsh self-criticism. Think about the times when you've experienced difficulty in your life. How often have you been your own worst critic, even when you needed support the most? In those moments, the voice in your head may have been full of judgment, telling you that you're not good enough, or that you've failed. But the truth is, this inner voice doesn't help. It only makes the burden heavier. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life. It's not something to avoid or resist, but something to acknowledge with gentleness. Self-compassion allows you to face suffering without adding extra layers of pain. It allows you to embrace your imperfections and challenges, knowing that they are a natural part of being human. In moments of struggle, try to offer yourself a simple phrase like, "This is hard, but I am doing my best, and that's enough." These words may seem small, but they can shift your mindset from one of judgment to one of acceptance and kindness. Over time, this shift helps build resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger from life's difficulties. As you begin to cultivate self-compassion, remember that it's not a one-time practice. It's a daily habit, something you can choose to embrace with each moment of difficulty. Whenever you face a challenge, remind yourself that you are worthy of care, understanding, and love, no matter what happens. Let's also remember that self-compassion is not about excusing poor behavior or avoiding growth. It's about being gentle with yourself while still striving for improvement. It's about accepting where you are right now, without beating yourself up for not being where you want to be. Growth comes from acknowledging your current state and choosing to move forward with love and patience. When you practice self-compassion, you don't deny your emotions or the reality of your struggles. Instead, you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling without shame. It's okay to feel pain, frustration, or sadness. These emotions are part of being human. What matters is how you respond to them. Instead of reacting with self-criticism, choose to respond with kindness and understanding. Self-compassion is like a balm for the wounds that life inflicts. When we are kind to ourselves, the wounds of hardship heal more quickly and more deeply. We are able to rise from our challenges not broken, but with a deeper sense of peace and strength. A simple way to cultivate this compassion is by bringing your attention to your breath. When you feel overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths and say to yourself, "It's okay. I am here for myself. I am doing my best." This small practice can create a moment of calm in the storm, allowing you to navigate difficulties with more ease. Another powerful tool in self-compassion is the concept of mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present with yourself in the moment, without judgment. When you experience difficulty, instead of getting lost in negative thoughts, simply observe your emotions with awareness. Acknowledge what you're feeling, without trying to change it. By being present with your emotions, you create space for healing and understanding. Self-compassion is also deeply connected to the understanding of impermanence. In Buddhism, impermanence teaches us that everything, including our pain and struggles, is temporary. No matter how difficult a situation may seem, it will pass. With this understanding, you can cultivate a sense of hope and patience. Even in the darkest moments, remember that change is inevitable, and so is your ability to overcome. When life tests you, self-compassion allows you to rise up not as a perfect person, but as a person who is strong enough to embrace their flaws, acknowledge their pain, and continue moving forward. This is the true power of resilience, the ability to face hardship with an open heart and a quiet mind, knowing that you are worthy of love and care, no matter the circumstances. So, the next time life challenges you, ask yourself, how can I be kind to myself in this moment? How can I practice self-compassion? Instead of pushing yourself to be perfect, give yourself permission to be human. By doing so, you will not only survive the storms of life, you will grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The role of patience and persistence in overcoming hardships. In the journey of life, challenges will always appear. It's not a matter of if they will come, but when, and when they do, we often feel tempted to rush through them, to find a quick solution, to escape the discomfort. But true strength comes not from avoiding the hard moments, but from embracing them with patience and persistence. Patience is not about waiting passively. It's not about simply enduring what life throws at you without reacting. It's about being present with the moment, accepting what is, and finding peace within it. Life will always test you, and sometimes the only thing you can do is to be patient. In Buddhism, we are taught that patience is a form of strength, not weakness. It requires great courage to be patient, to trust that everything has its time. Consider a seed growing into a tree. It doesn't rush the process. It doesn't try to skip the stages of growth. It simply follows the natural rhythm of life. With time, patience, and consistent effort, the seed becomes a tree. Just like that seed, you must trust the process. Even when you don't see immediate results, know that growth is happening beneath the surface. Life's challenges are like the rain and the sun that nurture the seed. They may feel difficult, but they are necessary for your growth. Persistence, on the other hand, is the willingness to continue moving forward, even when progress seems slow or unclear. It's the determination to keep going, step by step, even when the path ahead is uncertain. It's easy to give up when things are tough, to throw in the towel when you feel exhausted. But persistence teaches you that even small, steady steps will eventually lead you to your destination. There's a beautiful saying in Buddhism, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." The journey might be long, the road may be difficult, and at times, it may feel like you're getting nowhere. But every step matters. Every moment you endure, every small action you take, is building your strength. Persistence isn't about grand achievements or immediate results. It's about the quiet, consistent efforts that shape you over time. Patience and persistence go hand in hand. Patience teaches you to trust the process, to surrender to life's timing. Persistence teaches you to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is unclear. Both qualities require you to let go of control. Patience asks you to trust in the natural flow of life, while persistence asks you to trust in your ability to continue, no matter the obstacles. When you cultivate both patience and persistence, you begin to see challenges not as burdens, but as opportunities. Difficulties aren't problems to be solved quickly. They are invitations to grow, to learn, to become stronger. When life tests you, you don't need to rush to change the situation. Instead, you can stay present with what's happening, accepting it with patience, and move forward with persistence. In times of hardship, it's important to remember that progress is not always linear. There may be days when you feel like you're not making any progress at all. But just as the tree grows slowly over time, even when it seems like nothing is happening, so too are you growing. The small actions you take each day, whether it's meditating, taking care of your health, or simply showing up for yourself, are contributing to your inner strength. Life will always test your patience. People will disappoint you. Things will not go as planned. But if you can remain patient, knowing that everything will unfold as it should, and if you can persist in your efforts, knowing that every small step forward is progress, you will begin to notice a shift in how you respond to life's challenges. Remember, patience doesn't mean passivity. It's an active acceptance of what is. Persistence doesn't mean forcing things to happen. It's the quiet determination to continue moving forward, even when the path is unclear. These two qualities will guide you through life's hardest moments, helping you to stay strong when everything around you seems to be falling apart. When you learn to embrace patience and persistence, you are no longer defined by the external circumstances. You are not at the mercy of the challenges you face. Instead, you become the calm in the storm, the steady force that continues, no matter what. Life may test you, but you will have the strength to face whatever comes your way with grace and resilience. Patience and persistence also help you develop a deeper understanding of yourself. When you are patient with yourself, you allow space for growth. You forgive yourself for mistakes, knowing that they are part of the process. You understand that setbacks are not failures. They are simply part of the journey. And when you persist, you discover an inner strength that you may not have known existed. This process is gradual. It doesn't happen overnight. But with patience and persistence, you will see that you are becoming stronger, more resilient, and more at peace with the flow of life. Each moment of patience, each step of persistence, is building the foundation of your inner strength. And in time, you will find that you are able to handle life's challenges with a calm mind and an open heart. So, when life tests you, don't be in a rush to change the situation. Instead, focus on how you can respond. Can you be patient? Can you persist? If you can, you will discover the true power that lies within you, transforming pain into wisdom and growth. In life, pain is inevitable. Everyone faces it, in many forms. It may be the pain of loss, the sting of failure, or the discomfort of personal struggle. But pain does not have to be something that breaks us. In fact, pain can become the very thing that shapes us, if we allow it to. Think of a tree, deeply rooted in the earth. It stands tall, swaying gently in the wind. The tree has faced storms, heavy rains, and harsh winters. Yet, it remains strong, its roots growing deeper with every challenge. The tree has learned to bend without breaking, and in doing so, it grows taller, reaching for the sky. This is how we can approach our own pain. Rather than letting it pull us down, we can use it to grow higher, just like that tree. The first step in transforming pain into wisdom is acceptance. When we experience suffering, the natural instinct is to resist it. We want it to go away. We try to avoid it, distract ourselves from it, or bury it beneath layers of distractions. But resistance only keeps us trapped in pain. The more we resist, the more it persists. Imagine if the tree tried to resist the storm. The branches would snap, the trunk would weaken. But instead, the tree accepts the wind, the rain, and even the snow. It does not try to fight them. In this acceptance, it finds the strength to endure and grow. This is what we must do with our pain. We must allow ourselves to feel it fully. Instead of running away, we turn toward it. This does not mean we have to like the pain, but we allow ourselves to experience it without judgment or fear. The pain becomes a part of us, not something that defines us. Buddha teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life. It is not something to be feared or avoided. Suffering, in fact, is the very thing that leads us to understanding and growth. The Buddha said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." When we embrace our pain and accept it without resistance, we free ourselves from the suffering that comes with it. Next, we look for the lessons within the pain. Every challenge has something to teach us. It may not always be immediately clear, but if we approach our pain with an open heart and mind, wisdom will emerge. Think about a time when you went through a difficult experience. At the time, it may have felt like it was the end of the world, but with time, you likely saw that it had taught you something valuable. Perhaps it made you stronger, more compassionate, or more resilient. When we are in the midst of pain, it can be hard to see anything positive, but if we practice patience, we begin to notice the shifts that occur within us. Pain has a way of breaking open our hearts, allowing us to become more open to the world and others. It teaches us empathy, kindness, and gratitude for the moments we take for granted. As we accept and learn from our pain, we also let go of the need to control everything. Much of our suffering comes from the desire to control our circumstances. We want things to go our way, to avoid discomfort, to keep life predictable and safe. But life is anything but predictable. Trying to control it only leads to frustration and more pain. When we let go of control, we begin to experience a sense of freedom. We stop fighting against the flow of life and start moving with it. In the practice of Buddhism, this is known as non-attachment. We are not attached to the outcome of our pain or to the idea of a life without suffering. We understand that pain, like everything else, is temporary. It will come and it will go. But in the meantime, we learn to live with it, to be present with it, and to find peace within it. Sometimes, we try to rush the healing process. We want to move on quickly, to forget the pain, to get back to normal. But healing takes time. It is like the slow growth of a plant from a seed. It doesn't rush. It simply unfolds, layer by layer, petal by petal. We, too, must be patient with ourselves. The journey through pain is not a straight path. It has its ups and downs, its twists and turns. But if we are patient, if we trust the process, we will emerge stronger on the other side. Pain also teaches us the impermanence of all things. Nothing in life lasts forever. Joy does not last forever, and neither does pain. This understanding of impermanence is at the heart of Buddhist philosophy. When we accept that everything is temporary, we begin to experience life more fully. We stop clinging to the good moments, fearing their loss, and we stop resisting the painful ones, knowing they too will pass. When we allow ourselves to feel pain without judgment, we open ourselves up to the possibility of deep healing. The pain that once seemed overwhelming begins to transform. It no longer holds power over us. Instead, it becomes a source of strength and wisdom. We begin to understand that we are not defined by our pain, but by how we choose to respond to it. Through this process of transformation, we find a deeper sense of peace. Peace is not the absence of pain, but the ability to stay centered in the midst of it. It is the ability to find stillness in the storm, to remain grounded even when life is shaking us to our core. Peace comes from knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way, because we have the strength to endure and grow. As you move through life, you will encounter many challenges. Some will be small, others will be great. But know this, each one is an opportunity for growth. You can use every experience of pain to become wiser, more compassionate, and more resilient. Pain is not something to fear. It is something to embrace, because it is through pain that we learn to truly live. The journey of transforming pain into wisdom is not easy, but it is worth it. When you allow yourself to grow through your pain, you discover a strength you never knew you had. You learn to bend without breaking, to rise after every fall. You become like that tree, standing tall and strong, no matter what storms may come, seeking solace in spiritual practices. In life, we often encounter moments when the weight of the world feels unbearable. The pressures, the worries, the endless tasks, they all seem to crowd in, demanding attention. At times like this, it's easy to forget the calmness that is always available to us. The world is loud, and it pulls us in many directions. But amidst the noise, there is always a place of peace within us, a place that doesn't change, a place that cannot be touched by the chaos around us. Buddhism teaches us that the way to find true solace in these moments is not through escaping our troubles, but through embracing stillness. When everything feels overwhelming, the first step is to pause, to just stop for a moment and breathe. You may think that you don't have time to pause, that you must keep moving, keep solving, keep running. But in reality, the act of pausing is often the most powerful thing you can do. In moments of struggle, spiritual practices become a refuge, a place where we can recharge and reconnect with ourselves. This might look different for each person, but the essence remains the same. Meditation, prayer, mindfulness, or simply sitting in silence. These are tools to help you return to your center. Meditation is one of the most powerful practices in Buddhism. It doesn't require anything other than a quiet space and the willingness to be present. When you meditate, you are not trying to change anything or fix anything. You are simply allowing yourself to be. You let your thoughts come and go, like clouds passing in the sky. You watch them, but you do not hold on to them. Over time, this practice helps to create a distance between you and your thoughts. It gives you the ability to observe without reacting. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is that suffering arises from attachment. We often hold on to things, our worries, our fears, our plans for the future. But in reality, all things are impermanent. The more we cling to them, the more pain we experience. Through spiritual practices like meditation, we learn to let go of our attachments. We create space in our hearts and minds to receive peace, rather than holding on to the weight of everything we think we need. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life. We feel as though we must be constantly doing, constantly achieving, constantly proving ourselves. But Buddhism teaches us that true strength lies in the ability to be still, to be present, and to trust in the unfolding of life. Spiritual practices help us return to this trust. They remind us that we do not need to fight against life. Instead, we can learn to flow with it. When we face difficult situations, we often respond with fear. We fear the unknown, the discomfort, the uncertainty of the future. Spiritual practices help us to soften that fear. When we meditate or pray, we surrender to the present moment. We stop trying to control everything, and instead, we trust that all is unfolding as it should. This doesn't mean we become passive. It means we find peace in knowing that we can only control our responses. Everything else is beyond our control. Think of a river. It doesn't fight the rocks, the trees, or the land it passes over. It simply flows, moving with the contours of the earth. In life, we too can learn to flow. When we face challenges, we don't need to resist. Instead, we can find the strength to move with the current, to adapt, and to trust that the waters will carry us where we need to go. This doesn't mean that everything will be easy. Life will still bring its storms, its challenges, its unpredictable twists. But through spiritual practices, we learn to navigate these challenges with grace. We become like the river, moving, bending, but never breaking. Another important aspect of spiritual practice is compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not just for others, it's for ourselves too. When we face difficulties, it's easy to be hard on ourselves. We blame ourselves for the situation, or we believe that we should be stronger, should have done better, should have known better. But compassion teaches us to be kind to ourselves, to acknowledge our struggles without judgment. It teaches us that it's okay to be human. When you are kind to yourself, you create space for healing. You stop fighting against your emotions and instead allow them to flow. You allow yourself to feel sadness, anger, or fear without becoming overwhelmed by them. This is not about suppressing your emotions, but about creating space for them to exist without controlling them. Spiritual practices also help to remind us that we are not alone. In times of trouble, it's easy to feel isolated, as though no one understands what we're going through. But Buddhism teaches that we are all interconnected. The suffering we experience is shared by many, and the peace we seek is also shared. By engaging in spiritual practices, we connect with a larger community of beings, both living and past, who have walked similar paths. Even in solitude, we are not truly alone. Meditation helps us feel this connection. When we sit in silence, we connect not only with our own hearts, but with the hearts of others. We become aware of the vast web of life that surrounds us, and we realize that no matter how isolated we may feel, we are all part of something much greater. Spiritual practices, when done consistently, begin to shift the way we see the world. They help us move from a place of fear and anxiety to a place of peace and trust. The more we practice, the more we become aware of the impermanence of all things. We see that no matter how bad a situation may seem, it too shall pass. This awareness gives us strength in difficult times. It helps us let go of the need for control and instead embrace the unfolding of life. Over time, the regular practice of spiritual disciplines begins to transform us. We become less reactive and more responsive. We learn to respond with compassion, wisdom, and understanding, rather than reacting from a place of fear or anger. Through these practices, we cultivate an inner peace that is not dependent on the external world. This peace is unshakable because it comes from within. It is the peace of knowing that no matter what life throws our way, we can face it with grace. We can endure, and we can grow. In the end, spiritual practices are not just a way to cope with life's challenges. They are a way to transform them. They help us find strength in the face of adversity and teach us that, no matter how stormy the seas may become, we can remain grounded and calm, like a tree standing firm in the wind. The true strength we seek comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from meeting them with wisdom, compassion, and peace. And through spiritual practices, we begin to discover this strength within ourselves, aligning with your inner purpose amid adversity. When life tests you, it can feel like a heavy storm, an unending struggle. But what if I told you that within every test, within every hardship, there lies a quiet force, a path that can guide you? This path is your inner purpose. In the calm of the morning, when you wake, do you ever feel lost, unsure of what you are meant to do? Do you sometimes wonder if you're living in alignment with who you truly are? In the noise of daily life, it's easy to forget the deeper reasons we are here. It's easy to lose sight of our inner compass. But when life gets difficult, it's precisely this compass that will guide you. The challenge is to remember it. Your purpose is not always something grand or obvious. It may not be a big job or a title you wear. Often, your purpose is a quiet whisper, a subtle feeling deep within, urging you to keep moving forward, no matter the struggle. When we are aligned with this inner purpose, even the heaviest burdens seem lighter. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a part of life, but so is the potential for growth. Each obstacle we face holds the seed of wisdom, and when we align with our deeper purpose, that wisdom can grow into something powerful. Think of a tree growing through the cracks in the concrete. Despite the harsh environment, it stands tall, strong, and rooted in its purpose to grow, to reach for the light. We, too, must find our inner roots, the quiet space that anchors us in moments of difficulty. But how do we discover this purpose, especially when life seems to be pulling us in every direction? The first step is to be still. When the world around you is chaotic, take a moment to breathe. Sit with yourself. There is no rush. Just like a river that flows slowly but surely to its destination, you must also allow yourself the time to understand your true self. In silence, in stillness, you will hear the quiet voice of your purpose calling you. Sometimes, we mistake our purpose for external achievements or the approval of others. We might think we need to climb the highest mountain or be recognized by society in some way to feel fulfilled. But these are fleeting. True fulfillment lies in being true to who you are, not in what the world expects from you. The beauty of aligning with your inner purpose is that it gives you strength in the hardest of times. When the waves of adversity come crashing down, it's your purpose that becomes your anchor. It's not about avoiding the waves, but learning how to stand firm in them. Just like a lotus flower rises from the mud, your inner purpose allows you to rise above challenges with grace and peace. Aligning with your inner purpose is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something that can be forced. You cannot rush the seasons of your life. But just as the seasons change, so too will your understanding of your purpose. And with each new understanding, you will find more strength, more peace, and more clarity. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when the road ahead seems unclear. These moments are natural. The key is not to give in to the fear or confusion, but to trust that your purpose is always there, waiting to guide you. Even in the darkest of nights, the stars remain. Your purpose is like those stars, always shining, even when you can't see it clearly. Trust that it's there, and keep moving forward. In times of adversity, it's easy to forget why we do what we do. But aligning with your purpose reminds you of your why. It brings meaning to every action, no matter how small. When you act with purpose, even the most challenging tasks feel less burdensome. You no longer feel like you are merely surviving. You are living with intention, and that makes all the difference. Living with purpose also connects you to something greater than yourself. It's not just about your own personal growth, but about how your purpose can serve others, how it can ripple out into the world and bring light to those around you. When you align with your purpose, you become part of something bigger, a cycle of positivity that helps everyone rise together. However, aligning with your inner purpose doesn't mean that life will always be easy. Challenges will still come, but with each challenge, you'll find yourself stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It's like a blacksmith forging a sword in fire. The fire does not destroy the metal, it strengthens it. And just like that, the challenges in your life are shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for something greater. In Buddhism, the concept of right action is deeply tied to your purpose. It's about acting in ways that align with your values, your truth, and your understanding of the world. When you live in alignment with your purpose, you begin to make choices that reflect your true nature, even in the face of hardship. You act with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. But remember, aligning with your purpose is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a lifelong process of growth, learning, and refining. There will be times when you feel off course, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep returning to your center, keep seeking your truth, and keep moving forward, step by step. As you walk this path, you will find that your purpose is not just something you pursue. It is something you embody. It becomes a part of who you are, how you think, how you speak, and how you act. It is the lens through which you view the world, and it gives meaning to every experience, every challenge, and every moment of peace. And as you align with your inner purpose, you will notice something else, a deep sense of peace. There is peace in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do. This peace will not be shaken by external circumstances. No matter what life throws at you, you will remain grounded, calm, and strong. When you align with your inner purpose, you step into the flow of life. You stop fighting against the current and start moving with it. You trust that every experience is an opportunity to learn and grow, and you approach each moment with a sense of curiosity and gratitude. You begin to see the beauty in every challenge, the lesson in every difficulty. The strength that comes from aligning with your purpose is not just inner strength. It is the strength of the universe flowing through you. It's the strength of everything that has ever existed, supporting you as you walk your path. And when you align with this strength, you will find that no test, no challenge, is too great for you to overcome. In the end, the most powerful way to stay strong when life tests you is not by trying to control everything or by resisting the inevitable. It is by aligning with your inner purpose and trusting that this purpose will guide you through every storm, every hardship, and every moment of doubt. This alignment brings peace, strength, and a deep sense of fulfillment, no matter what challenges you face. Stay true to your purpose. Let it guide you. And remember, you are never alone on this journey. Conclusion: rising stronger, wiser, and more peaceful. As the journey of life continues, one thing becomes clearer. No matter how many storms come our way, we have the power to rise stronger, wiser, and more peaceful each time. The challenges you face are not obstacles meant to break you. Instead, they are opportunities designed to shape you into the person you are meant to become. If you embrace them with the right mindset, you will find that every trial strengthens your spirit and deepens your wisdom. When you face life's tests, remember that every difficulty holds a lesson. Whether it's a tough situation at work, a personal struggle, or an unexpected crisis, each challenge is an invitation to learn. In those moments, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to want to give up, or to believe that the world is against you. But if you pause and breathe, you will find that there is always a way through, and there is always something to gain. Buddha taught us that life is filled with suffering, but he also showed us that suffering is not the end. It is a part of the journey, a chance to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through mindfulness, patience, and self-compassion, we can transform that suffering into wisdom. Each challenge, no matter how painful, is a stepping stone toward enlightenment. One of the greatest teachings in Buddhism is the idea of impermanence. Everything, good or bad, will pass. This is a reminder that no storm, no matter how fierce, will last forever. When you face a hard time, remember that it is temporary. The pain you feel today will fade, just as the rain eventually gives way to sunshine. Embrace this truth, and you will find peace in the most difficult of circumstances. Another powerful teaching is the practice of detachment. In a world full of distractions, we often become attached to things, people, and outcomes. But attachment leads to suffering. When we let go of our expectations and stop clinging to how we think things should be, we allow ourselves to experience life as it is. This is not about giving up or resigning to fate. It's about embracing the present moment with full acceptance. By practicing detachment, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and allow life to unfold naturally. It's important to recognize that strength comes from within. The external world may try to push you down, but it is your inner peace, grounded in wisdom and mindfulness, that will lift you up. When life tests you, take a moment to center yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and reconnect with your true nature. The calm that resides within you is always there, waiting for you to access it. You just need to remember that it's there, even when the world around you is chaotic. In times of adversity, remember the power of compassion, both for others and for yourself. Compassion softens the harsh edges of life and allows us to face challenges with a gentle heart. When you encounter difficulties, approach them with kindness, not only toward others, but also toward yourself. It is easy to be hard on yourself when things don't go as planned, but self-compassion is the key to maintaining peace and balance. Accept yourself, flaws and all, and recognize that you are doing the best you can in each moment. Another key practice is to focus on the present. So often, we get caught up in worrying about the past or the future, and this prevents us from fully experiencing the now. Life's tests become even more difficult when we constantly relive past mistakes or fear what may happen in the future. But the present moment is the only place where true strength and peace reside. By grounding yourself in the here and now, you can face any challenge with clarity and calm. Let go of the need to control everything. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every aspect of it only leads to frustration and burnout. Trust in the process of life, and trust in yourself. You are capable of handling whatever comes your way, even if it doesn't look how you expected. Sometimes the best things happen when we surrender to the flow of life, allowing it to guide us instead of constantly trying to steer it. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. Just as the Buddha had his followers, we too have a community of people who are walking similar paths. Find strength in connection, reach out when you need support, and offer your help to others when they are struggling. True strength lies not in isolation, but in unity. When we support each other, we amplify our individual strengths and create a network of resilience. Lastly, remember that your purpose in life is not to avoid challenges, but to learn from them. Each hardship you encounter is a chance for growth. The pain you experience today will give you wisdom tomorrow. Trust in the process, and trust that every test is an opportunity for transformation. Embrace your struggles as the great teachers they are, for they will shape you into a person who can face anything with grace, strength, and wisdom. As you move forward, take a moment to reflect on your journey. Think of all the challenges you have overcome and how they have shaped you into the person you are today. You are stronger than you realize. You are more capable than you think. And with each step, you are moving closer to the highest version of yourself. So, when life tests you again, and it will, remember these teachings. Remember that you have the tools to handle whatever comes your way. Stay grounded, stay calm, and trust in your ability to rise. You are already stronger than you know, and every trial you face is simply another opportunity to become even stronger. Thank you for joining us on this journey through life's challenges. May you continue to rise, wiser, stronger, and more peaceful with every passing day. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven for more insights to help you navigate life's tests with strength and peace. Your support means the world to us. Keep walking your path with courage and mindfulness, and know that you are never alone.